guess the team and the club and everyone involved in a bit of a high after Boxing Day. A pretty good day for everyone.
It was a good day, yeah. It was a good result anyway. Pleased with a lot of the parts of the performance. Always something to work on and improve on. But yeah, of course, listen, we're not getting carried away. It was Boxing Day is one of them days. They're not easy to always play. You know, you got your family to deal with. Christmas Day, there's a lot of the lads have got kids, and there's a lot of distractions. So it's not an easy one. As much as we try and play it down and focus on the game, I understand that. So I was delighted to come through that and score goals, entertain, and everyone go home happy. And the supporters turn out, and the numbers was incredible. So all in all, it was a good day. But obviously, from our point of view, we're not getting too carried away.
There's always supporters, I think, as well from other parts of the country, perhaps abroad, who come home at Christmas time and get to see the team. Was it nice to showcase what you're trying to do here? It
was, yeah. It was a good day. You know, to have a full stadium like that was brilliant for me, for the players especially, to feed off that energy. And like you say, some people that maybe don't get to see us throughout the year. So it was important that we played well. We give them something to smile about, to shout about, and they went home happy. And looking forward to the game tomorrow. You know, selling so many tickets to an away game over Christmas is amazing. I think it's over 4,000, nearly 5,000 tickets. So it's that's something we certainly don't take for granted, and we'll try to do what we can tomorrow to make them smile again.
Chuba Akpom obviously getting headlines just now for his hat-trick at the weekend. I think he's joint top scorer in the championship. Can you talk a little bit about what you've seen from him since he came to the club and how impressed you've been? Yeah,
hugely impressed with Chuba. I think he obviously gets the plaudits, he gets the pats on the back and the headlines for the goals, and rightly so. You know, it was never my forte. They tell me it's the hardest part of the game, scoring goals. But he offers so much more to the team than just his goals, and it's the positions he takes up, the link plays, his presence within the team, and his attitude and his personality around the place. You know, he's chirpy, he's happy, he's smiley, he feels comfortable here. He's enjoying his football, and I think you can see that. And any player, when they're enjoying themselves, they look that bit fresher. That, you know, shoulders back, chest out, bit of confidence, and playing with a smile on his face. So it's great to see. I've really enjoyed working with him, and still so much more to come from him, which is really encouraging.
Because he's playing in that sort of role just off the main striker, isn't he? Almost dropping into the hole a little bit, which I don't think he's played too much in his career until now. What have you seen in him? What was it that made you decide to give him that role?
I think you go on your instincts a little bit in seeing him and how well he takes the ball and how fluid he is when he moves with the ball in a bit of space. And technically, obviously, coming up and through the ranks at Arsenal, he's had that foundation within his game from a technical point of view, and just wanted to free him up a little bit and play to his strengths. And thankfully, he's been able to do that. I think arriving late in the box and his timing of his runs, and rather than always being up there and being in there, he's arriving, and I think that suits him.
I think back in the summer it looked for a while like he might have been surplus to requirements. He was obviously training with the youths at one stage prior to you arriving, obviously. How good a turnaround has it been for him, for a guy who I think many thought was probably going to be on his way out of the club?
Yeah, maybe. It's difficult for me to speak about the turnaround because I don't know what it was or how he was playing before that, you know, until I came through the door. And certainly from the first training session in the games, you know, leading up to me taking all the ones I watched, seeing encouraging signs from him. So it was just, I said it from the start, you know, the plays that we got, we're trying to play to the strengths and trying to make them strengths even stronger and make it easier for them to play, put them in certain situations and positions which will benefit them, ultimately benefit the team. So Chuba's definitely one of them. He's found his role and he's suited, and he's doing great for us.
And just looking at the championship as a whole, I think is it 12? We're 11, 12 teams separated by 3 points. It's incredibly tight. You've got yourself right in amongst that. Does that just kind of give an indication as to just how strong this league is this season? Yeah,
the league's hugely competitive. That's why we're not getting carried away. We've gone back to your question about the win. You know, the last game, it's you know, nothing's been won or lost yet or achieved yet by any stretch. You know, we're all jostling for position in terms of league. But really, for us as a playing staff and coaching staff, it's focusing on becoming better and improving as much as we can. The results ultimately at the end of the season dictate where you end up. But there's no point in worrying about where we are yet. It's irrelevant, you know. It's about winning games to take us on that journey and see where we end up game by game. The classic quote of taking the next game as it comes, but it has to be the case when we're in it and we're living it and trying to perform and becoming as best as we can. And then the end of the season, we'll judge for where we end up.
I guess it's never more true, because if you win 2 in a row, you're right up there in the playoff places. You lose 2 in a row and you're down in almost in the relegation places. Ridiculous.
Yeah, it can flip within week to week, and even then, you know, whatever the results over the next 2 weeks, however that goes for us, hopefully it's positive. If it doesn't quite go as positive, it's not going to determine where we end up by the end. It's, you know, it's a marathon, and it's the games as they tick by, and one little stretch of games isn't going to tell the whole story. So either way, you can't get be too extreme with your emotions and how you judge it. You know, there's a lot of football to be played, and whether that's over the next 2 weeks or the next 2, 3 months, 4 months, they're the ones that are going to tell the story, not the next game or so.
Just finally from me, we obviously touched on Chuba there. I know you won't want to go too much into transfer window and what positions, but would you be looking to add in the attacking third if you can in January?
Well, listen, we're looking to add, we're looking to improve. It's you have to, you know, you have to look to move forward. If you're not trying to improve and move forward, then you're going backwards. So it's whatever positions that is, we'll look at, and we've obviously got a good idea of what we want to achieve. But I think that's just natural. I think every club will be looking to improve and try and do some business. Some are in better positions than others to do that, and we'll just judge it for what we know we can do and possibly can do, and hopefully by the end of January and going into February we'll be in a stronger position squad wise than we are now. But we have a good squad, we have options. Be nice to have more options and that bit stronger again from my perspective, but that's something we're working on together, and we'll get there.
It's been a bit of a quirk of your games so far that you've had so many away, really, of the games you've had, and obviously the 2 coming up. But that full house on Boxing Day, was that kind of a glimpse of what the Riverside can be, and what you might see, well, what you'd hope to see moving forward if you take Boro where you want to take them?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, full stadiums, noisy, winning games it's why we all love football. You know, it's why I started going to watch football as a kid, to feel the atmosphere, to feel the energy. And yeah, that's what we're here to entertain and express ourselves so anyone coming to watch can enjoy it. That's the beauty of football, and certainly the boys feed off it. I think as you said, we've played a lot of away games, but the away support has been incredible in the numbers and in how loud they've been, and yeah, we want that both ways, at home and away, and certainly we got that Boxing Day, and I'm sure we get that for the rest of the season as well.
And 4,000, is it 4,000 tomorrow?
4-2 at the minute.
Is that something that the lads talk about in the dressing room, in the build up to a game, just before a game, and you know, when they've come in after the warm up or whatever and they see the stands full? Is it?
I don't think it's something that they'll talk about in the changing rooms right before a game. I think that's kind of you know, they're in a different mindset, if you like, they'll, of course, they'll recognise it and they'll feed off the energy and they get the buzz from it and that adrenaline rush. It's just not something that they would speak about. They'll speak about it afterwards, for sure. I've been a player myself, and you speak about the support you've had and how good it was, and how much, you know, you fed off it, and how much you enjoyed it. Pre-game, right before the game, there's other things going on that the boys are focusing on, but they definitely feed off the energy 100%.
You mentioned your lad's in the away end tomorrow. Is that his first?
No, he's been to Preston, Blackpool, been to the home games as well. So he's right involved.
Is Boro fan yet? Or?
He has to be, doesn't he?
And what's his verdict on the job you've done so far?
He's never happy. He's never satisfied. He's never satisfied. He tells me who I should be picking and who I shouldn't be picking. Yeah, he does. Yeah. Of course, yeah. Why did you do that? Why did you do that? That's the beauty of football. We all got opinions. Even my son and my daughter, they tell me where I'm going wrong.
That must be special for you, though, kind of having that relationship, and I guess knowing that you've got a lad in there kind of savouring it. I've seen between jobs that you've gone to a few games in the United away end, or I'm sure I've seen some pictures. Is it nice to kind of be in touch?
That's football, though, isn't it? That's football. That's what I was brought up with my dad, my granddad, and through the generations, and I've been lucky enough to share that with my son and my daughter. So it's it's nice for me to be able to do it. Take them to games. I haven't had much opportunity over the years, but I think that's why, certainly sitting here, I appreciate the support that we get, and I know what that means to people to come and see the team trying to play in the right way, and seeing the boys on the pitch, giving their all and being together and showing the spirit and trying to attack and entertain. I understand both sides of it, so that's what we're trying to. That's why we're all working so hard to try and be better, so we can all enjoy it that little bit more.
And just asking about contracts, I think Johnny and Duncan are both up at the end of this season. Kind of not been discussed yet.
Yeah, look, there's a number of contracts and situations, individual situations that of course we'll get to, and we'll get that sorted. Timeline, I can't give you a timeline as I'm sitting here right now, but things will definitely get sorted, and it's something that we're working hard towards.
On those two personally, because obviously they've played an important part so far, are they kind of playing for their future then? Have they got to earn that deal? Is it something you've spoken to them individually about yet?
No, not on an individual basis. I don't. But I just think in principle, I'm here playing for my future. We're all playing for our futures. So that's the nature of the game. You got to earn your place in the team. You got to earn your place within the squad. That's normal. That's how it should be. So I don't think that changes with any individual really. But yeah, like you speak about them, they've both done great. They're an important part of the squad. Like many others, so it's we'll get things sorted hopefully as soon as possible.
So, just staying on Johnny, Michael, how is he after Boxing Day?
Yeah, he's all right. Yeah, he just took a bang. It was more of his neck actually. It wasn't the head. It was pain in the back of his neck, which hopefully he's going to be able to shrug off. But he definitely feels better, so we'll see. It wasn't a head bang or issue. It was more, as I say, it was his neck going into the shoulder, so we'll see how he is.
Yeah, and on the injury front, I know you mentioned after the game, it sounded like one where he might be out for a little while.
It'll be a number of weeks. Yeah, he's had a bad knee amp. He got over Christmas. He slipped on the pitch and twisted his knee. So hopefully 4 or 5 weeks. Hopefully we'll have him back.
Looking okay squad wise, other than that.
Yeah. Same, yeah.
And can I just ask you one, obviously it predates you coming in, but Darnell Fisher has been out for quite some time, and there was kind of like, we're seeing him in training and kind of slowly building up after a lengthy injury. I mean, is there a kind of time frame on when you're looking to get him back?
I think it's difficult when it's such a long-term injury. We're delighted to have Fish back, and he's been in and around it, and then picked up the odd little niggle here and there, and, which is, quite common when you've been out for so long and your body's adapting to training again. So definitely I would never put a time frame on a long-term injury like that, and it's be patient, take it step by step, and hopefully we'll have him back as soon as possible.
Yeah, presumably initially look to maybe get him into maybe under 21 games and things like that, but nothing nailed down yet in terms of when that might be.
Nah, no timeline at all. I would never put that on. It's not fair. It's when you're out for so long, there's all sorts of different things come into that, and just being patient and getting back on the pitch and enjoying his football is the most important thing.
Yeah, and obviously after the game he praised Alex Mauer, and we've spoken a lot about the importance of the squad, and I guess that was the example there of why you have to be always ready, because unexpectedly Johnny had to come off at half time and you needed Alex to step up.
It's one of the hardest parts of being a footballer, I think, is when you're not in the team, and in some ways the team's doing really well, and you can't get in, and you're training hard, and then you're training hard, and and then that little bit where it maybe go a little bit longer and you don't quite get involved, or you don't get the minutes you want. That's the challenge of really keeping that, because at some point during the season everyone needs, and everyone gets a chance, and everyone needs to be ready. And I've been there myself. I understand when you haven't played for a few weeks, and to motivate yourself to train when you haven't got that game, and it seems far away, but actually it takes one little situation to change, and you're right in the thick of it. So it's credit to Alex, I thought he stepped in and done a great job. I spoke about it after the game. I thought he was terrific second half.
Yeah, is that helping you, do you think, in your early coaching career, the fact, you have had all of these experiences, you've shared these experiences the players are going through, and in many respects you can empathise with those players in those times?
I hope so, yeah. I think experience does help you in general, and things that I've gone through personally and you can relate to, so it does put a different spin on it. Don't know how long that lasts until you kind of start forgetting about it. But now, for sure, I'm not been finished from playing for that long, so I can relate to them sort of different situations.
Yeah, and you touched on transfers there. Obviously, we know there's been a lot of planning heading into January. I mean, obviously, most managers will obviously want players in, as soon as possible. And with all the planning that's gone into it, are you hopeful you can get some early breakthroughs?
I think everyone sitting in my seat will be saying the same thing. January is very tough. It's obviously a tough time of year to do any business, really. It is. It's not always as straightforward as you might think. It's quite complicated with teams and clubs on in all sorts of different situations in right in the thick of it. So, of course, the sooner the better. Goes without saying, the sooner the better. So we'll see what we can do.
Do you expect to be kind of speaking with Kieran and the like, most days?
It's just normal, to be honest. It's what we've done since the start, planning for this week, next month. It doesn't change just because it's coming in January. That's the same all the time.
And just finally for me, we touched on Chuba already, but interesting after the game on Boxing Day, he was talking about all the kind of extra homework he's been doing, studying Ryan Jazz's game, studying the new position that he's playing. I mean, from a coach's point of view, it must be excellent to hear a player that hungry to succeed. I
think he's just saying that to please me, I think. Yeah, now of course it doesn't surprise me. I think knowing Chuba of how he is and his personality and his willingness, I said before, about his attitude and into training and working hard and improving. There's all sorts of different ways you can do that. It's not always on the pitch. Sometimes it is clips, videos, working out who you're playing with, being on a wavelength. It's unspoken about at times, but actually having an understanding with a player, as simple as that can be. It's not tactical. It's not necessarily you don't see it or with your own eyes, but if players have got a relationship and you understand each other, that goes a long way. And so yeah, the more they can work on that and they can feed off that, the better.
Sorry, Michael, how old's your son that's been going to the games?
12.
He's 12. So who does he go to the games with?
He's been going. My wife took him. He's been going with a couple of friends and their older brother who's 21 now, so he's having a right mixed bag, and he'd much rather go in the away end than go in the director's box. So.
Can I just ask you one more just about football in the North East, really, because obviously you're from up here originally. You guys had packed out on Boxing Day. You've got over 4,000 going down to Blackburn. Sunderland, I was at there on Boxing Day, 44,000. You see what's happening up the road in Newcastle. Does it feel like something's sort of stirring back here in the North East again?
I hope so, yeah. Listen, obviously you can be very selfish at times and want our own club to be the best and to be doing great, of course, and there's a rivalry, huge rivalry, and that's the beauty about football. But at the same point, rivalries are healthy, and to see teams doing well is good. I think everyone thrives off that, and the energy within the whole of the North East is it's a good place to be at the minute. Of course, we want to be higher, we want to be challenging, certainly at the top of this league and in the next league above sometime soon. But the positivity around the whole North East, I think everyone can benefit from it.
Yeah, was that part of your decision as to why you came here, when you see the support the Middlesbrough have got and just the way things are sort of going up here in this part of the country?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I know what people are like in the North East and how much they love the football, how much it means to them, and how important it is in their life, and how it can dictate from week to week. The feeling and the ecstasy of winning and the disappointment of losing. We affect a lot of people in different ways. So it's, as I keep saying, that is the beauty of football, and a football club like this, such a great football club of this size, and the catchment and the supporters and the number of people that care about us. It's our duty to try and give something back.